How does it work to sew stretch material on a sewing machine? With the advent of stretch material like this knits, sewing machines had to evolve. So we've seen some changes that make that so much easier to work with, and one of them is a stretch stitch. So first we're going to sew this with a regular straight stitch that is not stretch, so that you can see why we want to use a stretch stitch on this. Had to raise my feed dogs because I had just done a buttonhole. And it looks pretty good here as we're sewing along. It's feeding all right. Doesn't have any big puckers. But you'll see in a minute why we want to use a stretch stitch. So we cut our fabric threads and we'll look at that, and it looks pretty decent. No puckers. Stitch is pretty well balanced. Has a little bit of stretch. Now we're going to come up here and we're going to change it. And we're going to tell it we are doing stretch material. And go back, and it suggests a 75 stretch needle. The difference between a stretch needle and a sharp needle is a stretch needle has a little bit of a rounded point on it. There are also ballpoint needles which are really rounded. So we're going to take our needle out, put in the stretch needle. Tighten up that needle clamp screw. So when we turn off that, you can see it suggests the A foot. Pressure on 4, we're going to adjust the pressure on the presser foot, and we're going to put our 75 needles away. So this is called the lightning stitch, and it's kind of a zigzag, but instead of zigzagging left to right, it kind of zigzags front to back, which has a tremendous amount of stretch in it, and that's what makes it unique to the modern sewing machines. That wasn't available 20 years ago. We cut our threads off now, and you can see it's kind of a wider stitch, but it still is going to look just like a straight stitch. So this is the inside of the regular stitch, and this is the inside of the stretch stitch. They both look equally good. But the big difference is if you stretch them, it doesn't have enough give for that stretchy of fabric. So we just broke our stitch. So now that's going to be the hole in the swimsuit. Continue pulling it, you can see it broken more than one place, and that's why we use stretch stitches on stretch material.